Thank you very much, Johan. First of all, yes, just a small introduction from my side. So indeed, my name is Sven van Rossum, and I'm Head of Innovation at Nexus Communication. I have the pleasure today to talk to you about 3 of our remarketing initiatives that we are still conducting this year. So Celine, perhaps we can go to the next slide. If it works. Yes. So we have, as mentioned, 3 bright and shiny initiatives still coming up this year. One of them being the Remarketing Directory. Of course, we have the Remarketing Forum. And then finally, we have the Remarketing Award, of which we have Marcel de Rycker here as well, who is, of course, CCO from Proovstation, who is the sponsor of this year's Car Remarketing Award. Before we get to that, let me first explain a little bit to you what the Remarketing Directory is and how the process will go. Celine, if you can go to the next slide. Yes. This will be the first time that we will launch a directory dedicated to all remarketing professionals. What do we mean by that? So most of you might already know our Fleet Europe directory, which has been present for many, many years already, where we showcase all the suppliers, service providers, manufacturers, leasing companies that are part of the ecosystem around fleet and mobility. So it's actually your go-to place if you want to get in contact with one of the fleet and mobility suppliers. And now we've decided to launch one dedicated specifically for remarketing. So it will feature all the categories of vendors and suppliers within remarketing with a dedicated company profile. Besides this, it will also include an index of all the, let's say, suppliers within the wider ecosystem. So a listing of all the leasing companies, of all the car manufacturers, and the remarketing responsibles within those companies. So we truly believe that this directory is an easy go-to tool for everybody who's looking for something in the area of remarketing. So we want to make sure that all the suppliers and service providers here in the audience have the chance to, of course, get into that directory and make sure that you land on the desk of your potential customers. As mentioned, it's the first time that we do this. It will be launched in November 2021. It will actually be first distributed at the Fleet Europe Remarketing Forum, which I'll get into in a second. And it will also be digitally distributed to the entire Fleet Europe community. It will also be made available for download in our Knowledge Center at any given time. And it will also be extra special distributed to the biggest dealer groups within Europe. So I think, again, I can only stress that this directory is probably your go-to spot to make sure that you are known towards your customers and prospects. So if you are interested in participating in this year's directory, please let me know. You can contact me here throughout the event, or otherwise you can contact me via email, which you can find on our site. And I'm more than happy to help you and see whether we can collaborate on this. Then we get to the next slide, and we'll look into the Remarketing Forum this year. So we're happy to announce that this year the Remarketing Forum will go ahead live in full force and be part again of the Fleet Europe Summit like it has been for the last couple of years. It will all take place on the 9th of November at the Fleet Europe Summit, as mentioned, so the day before the summit effectively. It will be a full day event starting at 9 a.m. and ending at 5 p.m. Followed obviously by a dinner and awards that you could potentially participate in as well. We'll get into that later. Coming back at the forum, as you know, as you come to know, it's actually the annual gathering for all remarketing professionals in Europe. It's a place to learn, to share best practices, and to connect with your peers and your customers. This year's Remarketing Forum will focus around 4 main topics. The first topic being electrification. I think we've had a discussion about this in our advisory board as well. I think it's just a topic, the elephant in the room. We can't avoid it. It has a huge impact on fleet and mobility as a whole, but definitely also in remarketing. And it's, of course, increasing and will increase in the years to come. And I think we want to use this forum to actually have a look at, okay, are we prepared for this and how do we need to handle this going forward? Topic number 2 is how can we boost used car turnover and profit? Of course, a given, definitely after, let's say, the last couple of complicated years, we see, of course, today that there's a huge demand in secondhand cars. How can we take, of course, advantage of this, and how can we make sure that the volume is there to sell? Topic 3 is refurbishment. I think we also already discussed it a little bit today. How can we make sure that the refurbishment activities that we're doing and conducting today for our fleets is ready and fit for the future? And then finally, we have a specific topic that we want to focus on, which is around LCVs. LCVs are increasingly becoming more important within most of our customers' lives. Definitely looking at parcel delivery pickups and things like that. We see that increasing ever since. So LCVs are growing in numbers. And we want to see what the big differences are, of course, when you remarket an LCV or a commercial vehicle in comparison to, let's say, a normal passenger car. So those are the 4 main themes that we will be discussing in the forum this year on the 9th of November. And besides this, and that's something I also wanted to share, we will have for the first time a AI discovery session. So that will be something new at this year's Remarketing Forum. We've seen it also throughout this track, but also the previous tracks that we've had from remarketing, that AI is really taking up its share in or penetrating within the remarketing environment. We've seen companies, and there are also some exciting breakout sessions in a couple of minutes where you can see more about how AI is in reality affecting remarketing and how it can positively contribute to the profits. So we have decided to set up a specific session within the forum where you can discover the latest AI products and services, AI-driven products and services. So there will be a specific booth area where you can discuss with those suppliers and really have a look at what their technology can do for you and what it can mean for your remarketing strategy throughout the future. It will be available throughout the entire Remarketing Forum. So also there, when you attend the forum this year, make sure that you go and have a talk with those AI providers and see what they can mean for you. Okay, so if you are not registered yet to the audience here, please register today. You can do that on our Summit website, summit.fleeteurope.com. Very simple, very easy. I think most of you have already received an invitation also from our side. So again, have a look at the program and make sure that you register for this year's forum. And then we get to the Remarketing Award. If you go to the next slide, Celine. Yes. So as always, we will end the Remarketing Forum with an award and dinner, which will truly be a night to remember. I think we've all been waiting for this a little bit. It's been too long since we've had a chance to come back together. And we are going to do so again in style in Brussels on the 9th of November. And we're going to celebrate the best achievement in remarketing with the Car Remarketing Award. And we are very, very happy to have with us today, as mentioned, Marcel de Rycker, CCO from Proovstation. Proovstation is this year's sponsor of the award, but not only that, of course, Proovstation was also, I think, even the first winner of, no, it wasn't, almost the second winner of the Car Remarketing Award. So we're very happy to have Marcel with us. Hi, Marcel, how are you doing?
Hi, Sven. I'm doing very well. I'm very happy to be here. Hello to everyone. And I'm delighted to, for the announcement. We're delighted to do this event. So, yeah.
Great.
We're here.
I just wanted to briefly have a couple of questions with you, Marcel, because indeed, why? First question that comes in mind: why is this award important for Proovstation, and why do you want to support the Car Remarketing Award?
Okay. Well, as an innovator and leader in the remarketing industry added value chain for AI-powered car inspection and store damage solutions, I mean, we aim to recognize, together with Nexus Communication and the remarketing community, because we're doing this together with others that are part of the jury, to recognize the remarketing community, the innovators, and the change actors in the industry. we are very interested ourselves as an innovator to keep our eyes wide open and follow what is happening in industry and support new entrants and existing players to find new solutions. It helps us to remain on the verge of innovation, but also it gives us, of course, as a sponsor, the visibility that this award provides us with. I think this award is extremely important for the entire community, and not only for Proovstation, but also for our direct competitors that are here, to create the awareness that AI-powered car inspection can provide tremendous added value and contribute not only to a fair evaluation, what we have seen earlier in the presentation, but what I think is also quite important is an accurate assessment of a damage and on a regular basis and with non-drunk machines.
That's always good, a non-drunk machine. That's a fine. As mentioned earlier, so Proovstation, of course, itself was one of the winners, of the second Fleet Europe Car Remarketing Award, then apparently. What do you think? I mean, what has it brought to Proovstation, winning that award, that recognition?
Well, the winning of the award and it was in front of the entire remarketing community. So you have a tremendous visibility, and it's a big recognition, and it's a huge motivation for all the teams and for everybody working on those projects. Winning a prize. We're not talking about the Champions League here, but we're quite happy when you win a prize. But this one is quite special because it is really given by the remarketing community. It's not a tech award or something. This is really what our core business is in and being recognized there. And what it brought us, I will just give you an example. And as you mentioned it, Proovstation was the winner in the second year. In the first year, it was BCA. And at the time, I was working for another company, so I was also the sponsor of this award at that time. And at the dinner where we gave the prize to Proovstation, we also had BCA sitting at the table. And it just happened that today BCA is one of the biggest customers of Proovstation. So you see, it generates opportunities in terms of communication, in terms of business, that are considerable. And we had many good qualified contacts after winning the award that generated business. That makes the whole thing quite interesting, not only to be a sponsor, but also to win the award, because it brings you business and visibility.
That's great to hear, Marcel. And I do think it's a little bit the Champions League of remarketing, to be honest. Just one final question, because I know that we also need to look a little bit at time, but just one final question. Do you have any recommendations for companies that we have here present and that would want to participate in the award? What would you recommend to them?
Well, the first thing is if you are a game changer or you have a real added value in the remarketing field and the entire remarketing chain, so do not hesitate to apply. I mean, I have been member of the jury for several years now, and my advice would be show that you're an innovator compared to existing solutions. Show that you are serious, you have a plan, you have a vision, and that you solve the real pain points. I mean, they have been very well described this morning by Bertrand, some of them. I mean, that you solve those pain points for the remarketing industry. And, that'll give a huge opportunity for all participants and the winner of the award, giving them a huge kickstart for their project, being internally within their organization, if it's a big group, or outside for existing or new customers.
Super. All right. Thank you very much, Marcel. Again, as you mentioned, you're also part of the jury for this year's award, obviously, also sponsoring it. Again, we look forward to all the application that might end up with us. And I'm sure that, Marcel, you will help us make the right choices. Just to summarize, for the entire audience that we have here, we are looking for players within the remarketing scene, but not only players, also perhaps users of remarketing services. In let's say we've tried to summarize it a little bit in 5 main categories: people or companies that have created innovative remarketing solutions, companies that might have already set up a leading residual value management concept. So that could be a leasing company, it could be a rental company that's really leading the way a little bit when it comes to their remarketing processes. Companies that have specific or new world-class sales concepts that are showing something new within our markets, or that have a future-proof risk management process or concept available within their company. So who can participate? That could obviously be remarketing suppliers, but that could also be car manufacturers, remarketeers, rental companies, leasing companies. That could be very wide. Of course, the initiative is focused around remarketing, and the jury will obviously give a close look to anything that is exceptional within our industry, within our community, and see who can go through to the shortlist after the 24th of September and effectively come and present their initiative to the jury. So again, thank you very much, Marcel. Thank you, Proovstation, for supporting this award.
You're welcome.